There is a teaching so old it has no beginning, so simple it is almost impossible to grasp. It does not ask you to do anything. It does not ask you to become anything. It only asks you to stop. Lao Tzu lived in ancient China. He was a keeper of archives, a quiet man, a man who observed. And what he observed was this: the river does not struggle to reach the sea. The tree does not force itself to grow. The sky does not try to be vast. They simply are. And in that simple being, everything happens naturally. He called this the Tao, the way. Not a religion, not a philosophy, not a system to follow, just the natural order of things, the current beneath all experience. And he noticed something about people, that we resist this current constantly. We push against what is. We demand what is not. We tighten around uncertainty. And in that tightening, we lose what we were looking for. The Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. This was his first teaching. What that means is simple. The deepest truth cannot be captured in words, cannot be held in a concept, cannot be owned by a system. It can only be lived. And living it begins with one thing: letting go. Not letting go of life, not letting go of caring, but letting go of the grip. The white-knuckle grip on how things should be, how you should feel, what should happen next. At night, the grip becomes visible, because there is nothing left to distract from it. The mind holds its plans, its worries, its unfinished stories, and it squeezes, believing that tighter holding means more safety. But the Tao teaches the opposite. The softest thing in the world overcomes the hardest. Water does not fight the rock. It simply flows around it, under it, through the smallest crack. And over time, the rock is gone, and the water remains. This is not passivity. This is intelligence without force, movement without resistance, strength through softness. Now bring this into yourself. Right now, in this moment. Notice where you are holding. Not to fix it, not to release it by force. Just to notice. The shoulder that is slightly raised. The jaw that is slightly clenched. The breath that is slightly shallow. These are the places where the grip lives. And the Tao does not ask you to fight them. It simply asks you to see them. Because what is seen without judgment begins to soften on its own, not through effort, but through awareness. Lao Tzu wrote, "To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders." Not the mind that is forced into stillness, not the mind that achieves stillness through discipline, but the mind that simply stops fighting its own experience. And that stillness is available right now. Not tomorrow, not when things are resolved. Right now, in this breath, in this moment, in this quiet. The way does not ask you to be different. It meets you exactly where you are. And it says, this too is the way. Even this restlessness, even this worry, even this uncertainty, all of it is the way moving through you. And you do not have to stop it. You only have to stop fighting it. And in that stopping, something very quiet begins. Not peace as an achievement, but peace as what was always already there. Beneath the grip, beneath the effort, beneath the noise. Simply waiting for you to let go enough to notice it. There is something the Tao teaches that the mind resists deeply. That doing less can accomplish more. That silence can be louder than words. That stillness can move further than action. Lao Tzu called this Wu Wei, non-action, but not the non-action of laziness, not the non-action of giving up, the non-action of a tree in winter, which does not stop being a tree, which does not struggle to become spring, which simply waits, fully alive, fully itself, while the season does what seasons do. Most people at night are doing the opposite of Wu Wei. They are acting, mentally, planning tomorrow, replaying yesterday, calculating outcomes that have not happened, and calling this preparation. But the Tao sees it differently. When you try to grasp it, it slips away. When you stop grasping, it is already there. The thing you are searching for in all that mental activity. The calm, the clarity, the sense that things will be all right. It is not found through more thinking. It was never found that way. It arrives when the thinking pauses, even briefly, even imperfectly, in the space between one thought and the next. It is already there. Lao Tzu observed the nature of water for many years, and he returned to it again and again as his deepest teacher. Water, he said, benefits all things. It goes to the lowest places, the places no one else wants to go. And because of this, it is closest to the Tao. Think about what water does. It does not announce itself. It does not demand recognition. It does not resist what it encounters. It simply finds the way through. Always moving, always adapting, never forcing, and always, eventually, reaching the sea. This is the teaching for tonight. You do not have to force your way to rest. You do not have to achieve calm through effort. You do not have to silence the mind through will. Simply find the lowest place, the place of least resistance, and let yourself settle there. Like water finding its level, naturally, without instruction, without force. The Tao teaches that the greatest power is the power of yielding. Not weakness, but the intelligence to know when not to push. Right now, your nervous system does not need pushing. It needs permission to stop. Permission to release the readiness it has been holding all day. And that permission comes from you. Not from circumstances changing. Not from problems being solved. Not from certainty about tomorrow. Simply from you choosing, right now, to stop pushing. To yield. To the tiredness. To the quiet. To this moment exactly as it is. Lao Tzu wrote, "Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Overcoming others takes strength. Overcoming yourself takes true power. And the deepest self-knowledge available right now is this. You are tired, and you do not need to be anything other than that. Tired is enough. Present is enough. Breathing is enough. The Tao does not ask you to be extraordinary. It only asks you to be real. And right now, what is real is this. A body that needs rest. A mind that needs silence. A heart that needs to stop working for a while. And the way opens naturally for all of these things. Not through effort, but through surrender to what is already true. You are tired, and that is the most honest thing in this moment. Let it be enough. Let it be the way in. The lowest place, the place of least resistance, the place where water goes naturally. Go there now, and rest. There is a paradox at the center of the Tao. The more you seek, the further away it moves. The more you let go, the closer it comes. Lao Tzu watched people suffer not from their circumstances, but from their relationship to their circumstances. Two people facing the same difficulty. One resists it completely. One accepts it completely. The same situation. Two entirely different inner worlds. And he understood something very precise. Suffering is not in the event. It is in the distance between what is and what we demand should be. The Tao does not demand. It simply moves, like seasons, like tides, like breath, in and out, rising and falling, without preference, without resistance. And when we align with that movement, something in us relaxes, deeply, not because life becomes easier, but because we stop fighting it. There is a chapter in the Tao Te Ching that speaks of emptiness. 30 spokes share the wheel's hub. It is the center hole that makes it useful. Shape clay into a vessel. It is the space within that makes it useful. What Lao Tzu is pointing to is this. It is not the substance that creates value. It is the empty space. The pause between words. The silence between notes. The gap between thoughts. This is where the Tao lives. Not in the noise. Not in the activity. Not in the doing. In the space between. And at night, that space is available. When the doing stops. When the noise fades. When the activity of the day releases its grip. There is space. And in that space, if you do not immediately fill it with new noise, something natural begins to happen. The body breathes deeper. The muscles release what they were holding. The mind slows its endless production. Not because you forced it, but because you allowed the space to exist. Lao Tzu said, "The Tao never acts, yet nothing is left undone." This is the great mystery, that the most powerful force in existence does not force anything. It simply allows. And in allowing, everything moves perfectly. Now apply this to tonight. What if you allowed this moment exactly as it is? The thoughts that are present, the feelings that are present, the tiredness that is present. Not fixing them, not improving them, not pushing them towards something better. Simply allowing. Because what you allow loses its urgency. What you resist becomes more urgent. This is not philosophy. This is how the nervous system works. Resistance activates. Allowing deactivates. It is that simple. The Tao is not asking you to be enlightened. It is not asking you to be spiritual. It is not asking you to understand it. It is simply moving through you. Right now. In the breath that is happening without your instruction. In the heartbeat that continues without your effort. In the body that knows how to rest if you let it. You do not have to teach your body to sleep. It already knows. You only have to stop interrupting it. Stop interrupting with plans. Stop interrupting with worries. Stop interrupting with the need to resolve what cannot be resolved tonight. And when the interrupting stops, the body does what it has always known how to do. It rests. This is the Tao. Not exotic, not mystical. Simply the natural intelligence of things. When left alone, when trusted, when allowed. Trust it now. Trust the body that is already slowing. Trust the breath that is already deepening. Trust the weight that is already settling. You do not have to do anything with this. Simply notice it and let it continue. The Tao is already moving. In you, through you, as you. Right now. In this quiet. In this dark. In this moment of finally stopping. Let it move. and rest. This is the final teaching for tonight. Not a conclusion, not an answer, but a resting place. Lao Tzu wrote near the end of the Tao Te Ching, "Return to the root." This is called stillness. Stillness is the return to one's destiny. Return to the root, not to the past, not to a memory, not to a place, but to the source of what you are. Before the roles, before the responsibilities, before the identity built from years of doing and achieving and becoming. Beneath all of that, there is something very simple. Just being, just awareness, just this. And the Tao says that this is enough. Not as consolation, not as compromise, but as the deepest truth. Most people spend their lives moving away from this simplicity, adding, achieving, accumulating, believing that the next thing will bring what this moment cannot. But Lao Tzu saw through this completely. The further you travel from yourself, the more exhausted you become. And the more exhausted you become, the less you can feel the very thing you were searching for, which was always here, which has always been here, in the root, in the stillness, in the simple fact of being alive in this moment. Tonight, you have traveled far, through the day and all it held, through the thoughts that followed you into the night, through the plans and the worries and the unfinished things. And now you are here, at the root, not because you achieved it, but because you stopped moving long enough to arrive. Lao Tzu said, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. The seasons do not rush. The flowers do not force their blooming. The stars do not strain to shine. Everything that needs to happen happens, in the right time, through the natural order of things." And this includes rest. This includes sleep. This includes the restoration your body and mind need tonight. It will happen, not because you force it, but because it is the natural order. Tiredness leads to rest. Rest leads to restoration. Restoration leads to mourning. This is the Tao moving through your biology. You do not have to manage it. You only have to stop interfering. So let this be the final letting go of tonight. Let go of the need to sleep correctly. Let go of the worry about whether you are relaxing enough. Let go of the monitoring and the checking and the wondering. Simply be here. In this body, in this breath, in this moment. The root is here. The stillness is here. The Tao is here. Not as something to find, but as something to stop running away from. You have been the water all along, moving, adapting, finding the way through. And now it is time to find the lowest place, the place of deepest rest. The place where all water eventually arrives. Still, quiet, complete. Return to the root. This is called stillness. And stillness is already here. Beneath everything, beneath the noise, beneath the effort, beneath the worry. Simply waiting for you. To stop. To arrive. To rest. The way does not end here. It continues through your sleep, through your dreams, through the quiet hours of restoration. And it will be here when morning comes. Unchanged, unhurried, complete. Good night. The Tao holds you now. Let it.